Good morning, children, and welcome back once again to this part of the video class for class 5 subject science. Now, till now, we have covered chapter number 1, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5. We have completed these chapters, and I hope that you are thorough with these chapters by now. Now it's time to move further to continue with the next lesson, that is chapter number 6. Chapter number 6 is titled as Solids, Liquids and Gases. Now to begin with, you observe a lot of things around you, lot of objects around you. For example, right now I can see a lot of objects in my room. I have a TV mounted on the wall. I have a photo frame. I have sofa sets. I have a glass of water. And of course, there are many more objects that is filled in my room. Similarly, you too may observe, or you too observe many things around you. These things, we can say that these are objects. Now, every objects has two properties in common. And what are they? They occupy space. What do they occupy? They occupy space and they have mass. Generally we term them as weight, though there is a difference, but it is understood in the same term. As for now, we will consider mass and weight to be the same thing. Later on, of course, you will know the difference. Now, when I say that it occupies space, what does it mean? The space occupied by an object is called its volume, and the material consists, the mass. What do we mean by mass? The material, that means material, total amount of materials in that object is called its mass. Now, if I go on to define matter, all these things that I see are matters. So I can say that anything that occupies space and has weight or has mass is termed as a matter. Now, this matter is consists of very tiny particles called the molecules. So we can say that matter is made up of tiny particles called a molecule. Now, these molecules, of course, you learn that they are made up of atoms, and of course, we are not going to deal with atoms right now. As for now, we will understand that every matter is made up of very tiny particles called molecule, and it is the molecules that are arranged in the matters, and based on the arrangement of these molecules in the matter exists in three states. And these three states are solid, liquid and gas. So I have listed the small definitions on the board for you all. Just observe here. I have written here, every object has two properties in common. Number one, all objects occupy space. What is this? The amount of space occupied by an object it called its volume. Now it's called its volume. Next, all objects have mass. And what is this mass? Mass is the total amount of material an object is made up of. Now, to define matter, I can say anything that occupies space and has mass is called a matter. Now, I just listed a few. For example, the solids, book, chair. In the liquid, I have listed here oil, milk, air. Of course, there are a lot of gases also: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, many more. Carbon dioxide. These are all gases. And what is a molecule? It is a very tiny particles of which matter is made up of. I can say that, or I can say that matter is, in other words, matter is made up of very tiny particles called molecules. And of course, matter exists in three states. And what are the three states? We are going to see now the different states of matter and try to understand their characteristic properties. So now let's see the different states of matter. Now let's talk about the different states of matter. So I have drawn a flow diagram for the states of matter. So matter exists in three states, that is solid, liquids and gas. Now let us understand the three states of matter in terms of arrangement of molecules. That means the arrangement of the particles in the solids. First, the solid. So I have just drawn a small diagram or the figure to show the arrangement of molecules in a solid. You see here that the solids, the molecules are very closely packed. That means there is no space between them. So these are the actually the circle that I have drawn. These are the molecules. These are the molecules. And this space, the space between the molecules, that is known as the intermolecular space. This is called the space, the red one that I am coloring it. These are the intermolecular space. So this is intermolecular space. Molecular space. Now in the solids, the intermolecular space is negligible. It is very less. They cannot move apart. So the molecules cannot move apart. They experience a strong force of attraction. Strong intermolecular force of attraction. So they are held together. So this is the arrangement of solids. The arrangement of the molecules in a solid. Now based on this arrangements, we can list the properties of a solid in general. Number one, we can have that the solids have a fixed shape. They have fixed shape. Next, they also have a fixed volume. They have a fixed volume. Third, I can say that they are hard and rigid. They are hard and rigid, and hence cannot be compressed, and hence cannot be compressed. That means the molecules cannot be compressed any further, since there is no intermolecular space, very negligible, it cannot move. And the third, of course, they cannot flow. They cannot flow. So this is the four common properties that the solid has. Now you'll say that even a stone is a solid and a cloth is also a solid. The molecules are held tightly with each other. So this is the arrangement of molecules in a solid. Of course, you can have many solids around you. Even I just listed a two here: book, chair, table, photos, say a remote, any objects, solid objects. These are solid objects, and these are the properties of a solid. Okay. Now let's move on to the next state of matter, that is liquid. Now let's talk about liquid. Now next, let us see the arrangement of molecules in the liquids. Well, in the liquids, the molecules are loosely arranged or loosely packed. They have got a certain amount of space between them. So I have just drawn a arrangement of the particles in a liquid. So the circle that you see, of course, they can be assumed as the molecules. They are the molecules, and there are some space between them. You see that all these are the empty spaces. Not much, but there are spaces between them, and these molecules have thereby liberty to move in the empty spaces. They can move apart, right? So this is the arrangement of the molecules, and that is why they do not have any fixed shape. The liquids take the shape of the container in which it is put. So if you put liquid in say a glass, it will take the shape of the glass. If you put the liquid in the bowl, it will take the shape of the bowl. If you put in a round say bottom flask, it will take the shape of the round bottom flask, and so on. So liquids do not have any fixed shape, but they have fixed volume. It can be measured. Of course, you all know that you take liquids in say volume, by volumes, that means in liters. You buy milk, they give you in liters, so it can be measured. Now since there are empty spaces or there are some spaces for movement, they can be also compressed, and similarly the liquids can also flow. Now let's list the properties of the liquids. Number one, they do not have a fixed shape. They do not have fixed shape, so they take the shape of the container. Take the shape of the container in which it is poured. Number two, they have fixed volume. They have a fixed volume. That means it can be measured. Liquids can also be measured. Next, third, they can be compressed. They can be compressed. That means the molecules can be brought further closer, compressed by applying force, but to some extent. Only. And one characteristic for property of the liquid is also they flow from higher level to lower level. They flow from higher level to lower level. So these are the characteristic properties of a liquid. Of course, you know that oil, milk, juice, all these are liquids that we observe in our daily life. So once again, let's focus on this properties of liquids. They do not have fixed shape, so they take the shape of the container in which it is poured. They have fixed volume, that means it can be measured. They can be compressed to some extent, that means since there is some space between the molecules, hence by force we can compress it further. And of course, liquid flow from higher level to lower level. And now next is the third state of matter, that is gas. So let's talk about the third state of matter. Now let's see the arrangement of molecules in a gas, the third state of matter. So here of course I have drawn just an arrangement of particles in a gas. The small circles that you see can be assumed as the molecules, and you find that there is a lot of empty spaces between the molecules. That means they have got the full liberty to move in all the directions. Since a lot of intermolecular spaces are available to them, and since they can move in all the directions, they do not, neither they have a fixed shape nor do they have a fixed volume. They fill in the space available fill in the space in which they are spaced or they are kept. So now let us list the properties of the gases. Number one, we can say that gases do not have any shape or volume. Next, they fill in all the space available. Of course, next, they are highly compressible. That means the molecules can be compressed very much, compressible. And of course, these are the properties of the gases. And of course, they flow in all the direction. Fourth can be listed, they flow in all the directions. Okay, so this is about the gases and their general properties. So today we have seen the what is matter, molecules, and the different states of matter, namely the solid, liquids, and gases. Now we'll break up at this point. Along with this this lesson, this part of the class, I am going to send you a short assignment which has to be done in the exercise copy. Hope you continue to enjoy the classes and learn your lessons simultaneously. Till then, have a nice time and thank you.